Hello YouTube. Today I am going to show you how to create your own IT home lab. But before we get started, there are some requirements for this setup. For this guide you need Pro version of Windows 10 or 11, CPU with support for virtualization, at least 4 to 8 GB of RAM. So let's get started by making sure that virtualization is enabled in the BIOS settings for your CPU. To enter BIOS settings on your PC, you have to restart it and press a certain key. Many manufacturer displays a hint at the startup. For example, press delete to enter BIOS settings or interrupt normal startup. Once you have entered the BIOS settings, make sure that virtualization is enabled. The menu and settings can look different from one manufacturer to another. Just find virtualization option and make sure it is enabled. Save the settings. Restart your PC and let's move to next step. To find your Windows version, click on the Start menu and type WinVer, press Enter, and you should see your Windows version. Or right-click on Start, choose Settings, choose System from the left menu, scroll down to About. Next we have to enable Hyper-V. Click on Search and type Control Panel. Under Programs, click on Uninstall a program. From the left menu, click on Turn Windows features on or off. Find Hyper-V and enable it. Click on OK, let it install, and restart your PC. Next we have to download Windows 10 image, or ISO, for our virtual machines. Open your favorite web browser and search for Windows 10 download. Click on the download link and make sure it's a Microsoft link. Click on Download Tool now, and then open the file. Click on Accept. Choose Create Installation Media and click Next. Choose your options and then click on Next. Choose ISO file, click on Next. Choose a location to save the ISO image, give it a name and click on Next and wait for the process to finish. It is the same process to download Windows 11 and Windows Server image. So I am going to fast forward the video. Now that we prepared everything we need for the lab, we can finally start creating our lab with virtual machines. Click on Search and type Hyper-V. Open Hyper-V Manager. We need to create an external virtual switch so that our virtual machines can connect to the internet. From the right menu, click on Virtual Switch Manager. Choose New Virtual Network Switch, then choose External and click on Create Virtual Switch. Give it a name and description. Choose Network Adapter. I have an extra USB Wi-Fi adapter for my virtual machines, but you can choose your default adapter. Click on Apply and choose Yes. Let's create our first Windows Server virtual machine. Click on Next. Give it a name. Click on Next. Click on Next. Set the amount of memory and click on Next. Choose the external switch that we created earlier. Choose amount of disk space for this virtual machine. Choose Install an operating system from a bootable CD. Browse for the image and click on Next. Then click Finish. Now we have created the virtual machine, but we have to install the operating system too. For installation, just choose your keyboard, language, and which version of Windows Server you want to install, and then leave the rest of it as default. Choose Custom Install. You must set a password for Windows Server. Choose Ctrl-Alt-Delete from the main menu to login. Choose Yes if you get a network prompt. Now we are done with Windows Server installation and setup. What you can do next is, for example, install Active Directory and other services. Or maybe you would like to even use this server as a DNS server. We will go through that later in the video. Next, we are going to create Windows 11 and 10 virtual machines. For Windows 11 setup, there are tips and tricks I am going to show you. For example, how you can configure TPM, which Windows 11 requires, and create a local offline account while setting up for the first login. The process is pretty similar to Windows Server setup that we did. I am going to choose Generation 2 as Windows 11 can be in that category, but you can choose Generation 1 if you like that. Now, before we continue with the installation, we have to enable TPM. Right-click on the VM and choose Settings. Choose Security and enable Trusted Platform module. The rest of the setup is pretty similar to Windows Server setup until we get to account login. So I am going to fast forward the video. Now here comes the trick. If you don't want to use a Microsoft account or don't have any, just write some random account here and click on Next. Type random password. Click on Sign In. Click on Next. Type an account name. Choose a password. Choose Security Questions. Choose your privacy settings. We have now successfully installed Windows 11. Now time to create and set up Windows 10. The process is similar, and I am going to fast forward the video. Finally, we have created 3 virtual machines. Time to install Active Directory on the Windows Server and set up DNS to connect our other virtual machines and create a lab environment. Open Hyper-V, start your Windows Server and log in. Open Server Manager. Click on Local Server in the left menu. Click on your server name. Change your server name to something meaningful. Don't restart yet. Click on IPv4 settings. Choose your network adapter, right-click and choose Properties. Find IPv6 and uncheck it. Click on IPv4, choose Properties, choose. Use the following DNS server addresses. To find your server's IP address, open CMD. Type ipconfig. Copy IPv4 address. Paste it in. Preferred DNS server. Click OK. Now click on Start menu and restart your server. Click on Manage and choose Add Roles and Features. Click Next. Click Next. Choose Active Directory Domain Services. Click Add Features. Click Next. Click Next. Click Install. Click Close when the installation is done. Click on the flag with the warning sign and choose Promote this server to a domain controller. Choose Add a new forest. Choose a domain name. Click Next. Choose a password. Click Next. Click Next. Click Next. Click Next. Click Install. Your server will restart automatically. Now we can check if this server is our domain controller by choosing Tools and clicking on Active Directory Users and Computers. As you can see, there is a forest in our Active Directory with users and computers. Next, we are going to join the domain from our Windows 10 VM. Open Hyper-V Manager and start your Windows 10 VM. Right-click on your network icon and choose Network Settings. Click on Change Adapter Options. Right-click on Ethernet and choose Properties. Find IPv4 and click on Properties. Choose Use the following DNS server addresses. Type your DNS server address. This is the IP address of our domain controller, which we use even as DNS server. Now right-click on Start and choose Settings. Click on System. Click on About. Choose Advanced System Settings. Click on Computer Name. Click on Change. Choose Member of Domain. Write your domain name. Click on OK. Type your admin credentials for the domain controller. Your Windows 10 VM is now connected to your domain controller. Restart your VM for changes to take effect. Now you can see that your VM is connected to your domain. Let's connect Windows 11 to the domain now. Right-click on your network icon and choose Network Settings. Click on Advanced Network Settings. Click on More Network Adapter Options. Right-click on Ethernet and choose Properties. Find IPv4 and click on Properties. Choose Use the following DNS server addresses. Type your DNS server address. Click OK and close. Now right-click on Start and choose Settings. Scroll down and click on About. Click on Domain or Workgroup. Click on Change. Choose Member of Domain. Type your domain name. Type your admin credentials for the domain controller. Your Windows 11 VM is now connected to your domain. Restart your VM for changes to take effect. Start your server from Hyper-V Manager. Next, we are going to add a user to the Active Directory and log into Windows 11 VM. Start Server Manager from Start menu. Click on Tools and choose Active Directory Users and Computers. Expand your domain and choose Users. Click on Create New User. Type first and last name. Type a logon name. Click on Next. Set a password. Click on Next. Click Finish. Open User Account to check the logon name under Account. Connect to Windows 11 VM. Type in the username and password we just created. Since we are remotely signing into the VM via Hyper-V, we have to add the user to the remote desktop users and groups. Log in with the local user account. Search for Remote Desktop Settings. Click on Remote Desktop Users. Click on Add. Search for the user we created in the Active Directory. Click Check Names. Type your admin credentials for the domain controller. Click on OK. Click on OK. Now we should be able to log in with the user we created. Finally, our lab environment is finished, and we are ready for some hands-on learning. Thank you very much for watching my videos. Please do comment, share and subscribe if you like the video.